going to get what you buy. And if you don't like it, I suggest you to turn the camera off now because I'm going to be doing some foul, filth, and dirty foul talking. Shut up, Dragon.
Okay. We'll go ahead and talk about before you got in the wrestling industry. You started out college football. Not a lot of people know that, but you played college football at Clark Atlanta University. You were a defensive back. How was that experience?
I had a good time. I was there for my last 2 years of college, and I played ball. I played strong safety. And I was bad. I hit your ass hard. I make you pee on yourself. Right? I used to hit people so hard they would cry. I would cry if I didn't knock them out. I'd cry like, damn! Like, I'm just getting warmed up. I ain't hit your ass hard yet. And they knew it. They know I bring the funk, boy. That's bullshit.
Okay.
AU Santa Claus all day. CAU. For those who don't understand it, that's black stuff. I'm dragging laughing at me.
Was there anything about the college football career that prompted you to maybe want to get into wrestling? Was there anything about the physicality of college football that made you want to partake in a career in wrestling?
I never wanted to. I never had a dream of wrestling. I mean, this was just something that came up over a period of about 5, maybe 6 years after college, and it just came out of the blue one day. I had a buddy ask me if I wanted to do it, and this is the last time I'll tell this goddamn story. I asked somebody, this nigga named Melvin asked me if I wanted to wrestle. I want to do this shit, and he got me in it, and then I started. He quit, and last time I saw Melvin, he was at Cobb County Civic Center. He had paid to see me. Y'all truly.
Okay, it's also known that you trained a little bit with Ray Candy, who was famous from the Zambui Express.
Candyman, yes sir. When I first got in it, I started doing these little shows in another part of Atlanta, and these run every Friday night, and I would go down there and do the shows, and Ray came down and started working out with me. And you know, he told me, he said, if you stay in this business, you're going to make a lot of money, but keep your head on straight, and don't get caught up in the race game, which means that it's a lot of old timers in this business. Some of the new boys too, they like to play the nigga game. You know what I mean? They like to call brothers niggas and this and that, and they play like the little nigga jokes and all that shit, and I wasn't putting up with it. You know what I mean? I'll smack your ass unconscious, you play the nigga game with me. And Ray told me about it, and he told me shit to expect, and I experienced some of it, but I put a stop to it quick. And we never did. I never played that nigga card with nobody because I don't do that. Ask Sandman. I popped Sandman in the mouth, called me nigga. And me and Sandman boys to the day, but you know we had to throw down because I don't play the nigga guard. The nigga game. Don't work with New Jack. Sorry. Oh, by the way, not guilty. For those that forgot about my boy up in Rhode Island, not guilty again. You punk.
And that one's coming up later, actually. Also, it's well known you were involved in bounty hunting. Yeah, I think that was actually right after you trained, you got involved in bounty hunting. Was that the case?
No.
No, okay.
Right after college. I left college. With a degree, I started bounty hunting. And I actually liked it. So I stayed with it. And I did it for almost 10 years. And then after I left bounty hunting, well, actually I started wrestling while I was bounty hunting. And then I was like on my way out then from wrestling. I'm sorry, from bounty hunting. So I started wrestling full time and I stopped bounty hunting. Because I got tired of white people trying to shoot at me. There's a nigger in my backyard, shoot him! So I quit. That ain't why I quit. I quit because I killed 4 niggas, but that's another story. Next on the Ricky Lake Show.
Okay, the first regional territory you worked in with some decent exposure was the North Georgia Wrestling Alliance, ran by Sammy Kent with his little puppet.
Junior!
How did you break in?
I wonder what Junior had, man. He probably some toothpicks on somebody's coffee table. I know what.
How did you break into North Georgia, and what was your experience?
Well, I was working with them guys, man, down at, like I said, the little company down in Atlanta, and I talked to Sammy Kent, and he came to one of the shows, and he liked what he saw me and everything, so he invited me to come down to the show, to his show, and I went down there, and we talked, and we worked out a little deal, which I still wasn't making no money then, but we worked out a little deal, and he put me on TV. Then I started getting seen and recognized and noticed and everything, and then it kind of took off from there. So that was before Smoky Mountain, for those of you that don't know or didn't know.
Okay, you also worked with some guys that went on to some later fame in other places there in North Georgia. Disco Inferno was one, Scotty Riggs, and Stephen Prazak. And
Scotty wanted to be famous? Scotty Riggs? Oh, my bad.
Some fame. What was your opinion? What was your opinion on just the whole locker room there? How'd you get along with everybody in North Georgia?
I didn't. I mean, it was just, the locker room was a bit smaller than this damn room right here. I mean, it was like 50 people in a little bit of room, man. I mean, it was just, dude, that was just, I was like passing by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was in there just to, you know, try to get what I could get out of it and leave. And to me, everywhere that I ever went, everything I ever done, always been a stepping stone to get somewhere else. And I knew that North Georgia, I was just driving by, and it wasn't gonna be long before I left.
Okay.
I had a dream. And one day, little black men, little white boys will hold hands and do drugs together. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's where you first started teaming
Not guilty, huh?
with Mustafa. You first started teaming with Mustafa in North Georgia Wrestling. Did you decide to team with Mustafa on your own, or was it the promoters there in North Georgia that put you guys together?
No, actually, it was Mustafa I did. Because he had been 4 or 5 different characters at the time, and he wasn't over, and then he wanted to tag with me, hoping that I'd come up with an idea to get me and him over, and I did. And we became the Gangsters, and went from there to Smoky Mountain. So, but it was actually Mustafa's idea for us to tag. I didn't want to tag with him. I ain't want to tag with nobody. I'm a loner. I walk alone. I live alone. If you get me drunk enough, I have sex alone. By myself, for real. Dragging behind the camera laughing, y'all. Y'all that don't know. And he's trying to, he's like this. It ain't working.
Okay, and then the next step, of course, is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which you had a very nice run there. How did you initially get into Smoky Mountain?
Through North Georgia. Jim Cornette wanted to do a show in the Cobb County Civic Center, but he didn't want to come down here and promote it. And he talked to Sammy Kent, and he let Sammy Kent promote it. And in exchange, they would put a few of Sammy Kent guys on Smoky Mountain show. And it was me, Mustafa, Scotty Riggs, and somebody, and some other white guy. And we had a match, and Cornette liked it, so he brought it back, and we did it again. And then I went to Smoky Mountain.
Okay. What was the locker room like early on you guys' reception coming into Smoky Mountain?
Oh, it was cool, man, but all the white people were scared of it, because, I mean, they thought that we was kind of crazy, and then we were doing, like, the racial thing. So, I mean, you know, they was from Kentucky, King Turkey and Tennessee, so they really didn't know how to take to us. But we kind of grew together, and everything was all right, man. I was cool with everybody in Smoky Mountain. I had never gotten a fight in the locker room in Smoky Mountain. But I beat the shit out of a couple of fans, though. So I did. I was known for that. White people call me nigga. I wasn't used to that. I'd run your ass out that building.
What was Cornette like as a boss? How was he to work for?
I ain't know Cornette didn't like niggas. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Black people. Negroes or the color persuasion. I didn't know it. Somebody told me. And then one day his true colors came out. One of the guys in Johnson City, Tennessee, one of the ring guys, security guys, something happened with him and Cornette. And Cornette came in the back, and he was nigga this. And I looked at him, I said, so do you refer to me and Mustafa as niggas when we ain't around? He was like, no, Jack, I ain't talking about y'all. I'm like, okay, and we quit about 2 weeks after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Your interviews in Smoky Mountain are still regarded to this day as some of probably the best, most groundbreaking interviews.
Telephone.
Fax machine. This is some of the most groundbreaking interviews in the history of wrestling, and some of the most memorable interviews in the history of wrestling. What are your thoughts on your promos in Smoky Mountain? I mean, how did they...
Basically, they gave me a gun and said I could shoot it. Cornette said, go out there and say any and everything you can think of to make white people mad. And the first thing I could think of at the time was when O.J. killed 2 white people out in L.A. And that was my first promo. And I went out and I talked about, I said something to the effect of, I want to give a special shout out to my homeboy O.J. Simpson. Keep up the good work, too. Less to worry about. I'm not prejudiced, I swear to God. But that was what I said. And it made a lot of people mad. Black and white people got mad, but I didn't give a shit. And then after that, every time we did a show, I just come up with something that I knew white people wouldn't like. And I got a lot of heat for it. I got locked up a couple of times for that shit, too. But they kept me on the map.
Okay, one of the
kept myself on the map. He didn't give me shit. I did it.
One of the first big shows you did with Smoky Mountain was the Night of the Legends in Knoxville Coliseum. And nobody there had ever seen anything quite like New Jack and the Gangsters when you guys rolled up in there. What was going through your mind when you were walking down that aisle with all those people in there?
My mind was really totally blank, you know what I mean? I was sitting there thinking nothing. When I got in the ring, I just kind of ad-libbed, you know what I mean? I just went on with it, and whatever came up, came out. It was like throwing up after being drunk. It came up, so it had to come out. And I just got in the ring and just started talking, and shit coming off the top of my head. And it worked. I was in jail. Jail the nigger.
Okay, and there were a lot of backwoods towns you had to travel to. Pikeville, Kentucky, and Morristown, Tennessee, and all the, little towns you had to go to.
Dude, it's a street sign going up 75. This is the honest to God truth. It's a street sign goes up 75, and the name of the street is Stinking Creek Road. It's in Tennessee. I'm not lying. Only somebody from Tennessee would allow shit like that to be put on the public street sign, but it's an exit that says Stinking Creek Road for real. So imagine what kind of shit I went through when I went up there. I got called colored. The hell, but that's what they call me. For real. The color guy.
Did you ever have any violent run-ins with any locals outside of the shows?
They do, brother. Somebody put a little scratch on my car one night by like that. But they didn't do it while I was out there. They did it while I wasn't there. I'd have killed their ass. But they well, I take that back. I got in a fight down in Knoxville. This boy, I beat his ass and went to jail for that. And I had a fan grab me in Morristown, Tennessee, and I didn't realize he was like a little kid, kind of. And I smacked the dog piss out of him, and I went to jail for that. And but besides that, no, I really never got in trouble. Disorderly conduct by cutting the promo in the ring. I got arrested for having alcohol. I had a beer at a show, walking out to the ring with a 40 ounce or something. And that was the first time I got to experience something called a dry county. Never heard of it. And they locked my ass up for it. And this was before I had never even seen ECW, and I ain't know Sandman was doing it, but it was just an idea I had to do it. And hell, I did it. And they locked me up. But to answer your question, no, I never experienced anything bad up there.
Your first major program in Smoky Mountain was with the Rock and Roll Express, the legendary tag team. How were Ricky and Robert to work with?
They was cool, man. I love Ricky and Robert, man. I don't love them like that, but you know, them my boys for real. Ricky and Robert helped me out a lot, man. And Dragon just kicked the camera, but they helped me out a lot, and we did some heavy angles together, and it was some decent stuff for real.
Okay. I noticed just watching the tapes, Les Thatcher, when he was the announcer there, he seemed to really take a genuine interest in you guys, on your improvement in the ring, and the more you guys got over, the more he seemed to really be behind you. Did he do any of that behind the scenes, or was that just simply something he was taking to on the air?
No, Les really always try to tell me, man, you know, he's the Jack. He's want y'all to wrestle more. And I'm like, I didn't want to because my style was like brawling, you know, my style was like fighting. And every now and then I do a headlock, arm drag, and you know, and every time he would see it, he put it over. He's like, oh, the gangsters in the ring doing wrestling moves now, you know what I mean? But I didn't want them to start really thinking we was gonna do that because we wasn't. Because I didn't know how. I'm lying. I did, but I just didn't want to do it because it was better for me to do what I did.
Okay, later towards the end of Smoky Mountain, they started doing a talent exchange and interpromotional thing with USWA, which involved, in what they wanted to do, an angle with you and PG-13, which didn't really come about. Do you want to explain a little bit of that heat with PG-13?
I didn't like PG-13, man, because Jamie, at the time, I hated Jamie. I love him to death now, but I hated his little ass. He said that when I was in USWA, for that quick man, that I was trying to copy his gimmick, and I'm like, dude, I ain't trying to be like you with them vanilla ice baggy shorts on and the sneakers and the hubcap, you know what I mean? Mine was like on the gangster style. So I'm done. And hello. Somebody called him.
Bill Barron's office.
Dragon got somebody on the phone when them 1-800 hotline called me at 12.
A schedule? Like, what do you mean?
And now he's in there making an appointment to go have some sex with some men.
For this weekend?
He tried to cut the camera off, but I cut it back on, so don't worry about it. I got this right. So, let's get up close and personal. Who's your favorite wrestler? Say New Jack.
Yeah, just keep it on the website.
Is your sister's breast bigger than a 35? 36? 24, 36. I got my forehead. I did that shaving. You number one. All right.
Okay, back to PG-13 is what we were talking about.
PG-13. I didn't like them guys, man. I ain't even know them. And Lawler taught Cornette into doing this thing where they would come to Smoky Mountain, and we would do the job for them. And then we would go to Memphis and they do the job for us. I didn't trust them. I didn't believe it. And it's not that I'm not I don't dislike Lawler, but I ain't too crazy about him either. But I wasn't going to do it. Because PG-13 been talking shit about me, especially Jamie. And my mission was to kill his little bitty ass if I ever got him in the ring. So when we did setting up for the angle, they wanted me to do a promo, and I shot on him bad. And that convinced him not to do it. So it never happened, because I wasn't gonna do a job with them. It wasn't no way I'm gonna let somebody combined weight 211 pounds beat me in the ring. That's crazy, and I wasn't gonna have it. This is not a white man's sport. Damn it.
Okay, that was about the last run of things in Smoky Mountain. It was coming towards the end. What was the final program you guys had with Smoky Mountain?
The final program was with Trey Smothers and Tony and Dirty White Boy, and we didn't really end it. But I mean, to me we did. I mean, we did a little thing where we beat them around the loop, and then they beat us back on half the loop, and then we got the offer from ECW because it was time for us to leave Smoky Mountain. Then we was ready to skip, and Cornette didn't want us to leave because he wanted us to do 3 or 4 more house shows, and I wasn't going to do it because I'm like, my time is up here, it's time for me to go. So we went on and left. And the last angle we did answer a question with Trey Smothers and the Dirty White Boy.
Okay, looking back on the whole Smoky Mountain experience, would you say it was an overall positive or a negative?
No, I mean, that helped. I mean, we did some heavy shit at Smoky Mountain. I mean, that whole nation domination thing came from the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? That was something I created. Vince McMahon, I mean, he a rich white boy, but he didn't create that shit. I did. You know what I mean? I was the one that put that shit down, and they did like a spinoff. You know what I mean? That's like Andy Griffin Now and Then. You know what I mean? You leave the original cast alone, right? And we created that. And if anybody can get a hold of my tapes through Bill Barron's at Show Business Entertainment, you know the address, the Dragon can get to you. You will see that the gangsters, New Jack, came up with all that racial shit, and then WWF tried to come back and do a cheap version of it. They imitated, but they couldn't duplicate it. Sorry.
Okay, then the next step was now fabled the Extreme Championship Wrestling era.
Yeah.
How did you initially get into ECW?
From Smoky Mountain. Mm-hmm. And when we knew the run was up, we called Todd Gordon, and he called Paulie, and they said they wanted us to come up. We came up, and that's when it started.
Okay, and your first program was with the Public Enemy.
Public Enemies.
What was your opinions on the Public Enemy?
It was cool, man, but I mean, wasn't nobody buying the idea of a Puerto Rican and a white boy from Jersey being from South Central LA coming out to some music, the lyrical gangsters, word them up. I mean, nobody buy that shit. And then when we came in and started doing our thing, it's like every time we do a match, it was more and more people jumping on the gangsters bandwagon, you know what I'm saying? And then before you knew it, then, we was like faces, you know what I mean? Everybody was like on our shit. And we just blew them out the water. And because we was in the heavy angle we was in, and then I had the reputation that I had, and they took, WCW took Public Enemy out of ECW, but they didn't want to mess with the gangsters. And then when we did talk to them at one time, and Paulie shot us some more bullshit, and we still didn't leave. You know what I mean? And we just did our thing. It didn't matter.
So the babyface turn wasn't really premeditated. It was more or less just due to crowd reaction?
Basically, no. I'm going to tell you what really happened. I think I turned us. And what happened was I had gotten locked up on one of the many occasions, and I went back to ECW, the arena in Philly, and I came out and cut a promo because I had been locked up in Atlanta for about 8 weeks, and I came back and I cut a promo. And for some reason, I said something to the effect of, "I really did miss you, motherfuckers," and that did it. And after that, it was just whatever we would do, whoever we work, it didn't matter. We was automatic face. I could have shot somebody, grandmama in the head with a sawed-off shotgun. They still would cheered it on. I did think about doing it. I thought about shooting Paulie's grandmama. Fucking fuck boy.
Okay.
Paul Heyman's gay. Paul Heyman sucked dick. Fag.
Some of the early heat you had in the ECW locker room was with Dances with Dudley.
Yeah, man.
Explain that situation.
Yeah, we did a match one night, and I threw him a clothesline. He didn't duck it, so I hit him across the nose. And it broke his nose, he said. So I apologized to him in the ring, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I ain't mean to do it. But he kept tating me, man. I'm sorry, he kept punching me, for those of you that don't know, corny. He kept hitting me, man, and I'm like, damn, dude. And then he got on the floor, he tried to belly me on the floor, and I blocked it. And then he wouldn't stop. So I'm like, all right. I apologized a couple of times, but you still want to do this old stupid shit. And I told him, don't forget who's doing the job. And then he said, first chance, gonna whoop your ass. This all happened in the ring. I said, you gonna whoop my ass? He said, yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I said, all right, don't forget you said it. And when he came out the ring, man, I was in the locker room, way behind the door. See, I fight dirt, I fight the wind. Fuck all that bruising on me shit. I was hiding behind the door. He walked in the door. I took my nightstick and knocked that fucker out. Bust him all across the head. Then Taz gonna jump up. Knew that you was wrong. I'm like, fuck you, you little short fire hydrant. You know what I mean? So then when I told him, I said, I don't work for you. You know what I mean? I'm like, Taz, you ain't know what a bitch to me. Always have been, always will be, you rapist. And after all the boys ran in between, then Taz, like, he wanted something. He didn't want none. You know what I mean? See, I know how to fight for real. And then Paulie sent me home for like 3 months. But then when he needed me, you know what I mean, then he brought me back. That's why my nickname was always, it was Spare Tire. I'm only taking out when I'm needed.
In your earliest run in ECW, who were your favorite people to work with?
Abdullah Butcher's a superhero, huh?
In your earliest run in ECW, who were your favorite teams to work with?
I didn't like none of them, man. I just did it. It was my job. I didn't have no favorite team. Just whoever had the nerve to get in the ring with me, because they never knew who was going to show up. Was it going to be New Jack or the other guy or the other two guys? It depends on how many drugs I did that night.
One of my favorite early gangsters moments.
I had a brain.
So one of my early favorite gangsters moments, the one thing that made me say, wow, I really, really like these guys in ECW, was the Chad Austin incident. I beat that boy to death, didn't I? Man, Chad came out to me one night. He said, it was me and Mustafa against Chad the Blue Meaning. And Chad said, New Jack, we're going to go out there and we're going to brawl. We're going to beat each other with chairs. We're going to both bleed. We're going to go out in the audience. We're going to do our thing. You know, just like y'all in public enemy. So I'm thinking somebody put him up to do it. So I was looking around like, all right, now who put this white boy doing this? And it was just him. So I told the Blue Meaning, that was the fat Blue Meaning. I ain't talking about his brother, the slim guy. I told him, I said, you go with Mustafa. I said, I'm going to beat the dog shit out this boy. And that's what I did. And if you get that tape, you watch, I tore his ass up. I broke his leg. I beat that boy to death, man. Like, boy, you got me mixed up. I said, now that's entertainment. You damn fool. I love that, man. That's one of my most memorable. You a fag. Man, Chad Austin. What? But anyway. Okay, your first tag title run. Who guys did you defeat for your first tag title in ECW?
Wasn't it Public Enemy?
I don't remember.
No. It was a four-way. It started out with me, Mustafa, the Eliminators, the Bruise Brothers, and the Samoan Gangsters. And it ended up as us and the Eliminators. And we won. Remember Pat-Man? Go ahead.
Did you like working with the Eliminators?
It was like, I like working with Crohn's. I didn't really like Perry because Perry thought he was tough and Perry ain't shit either. He tried to punch me in the mouth one night during a match and denied it, and I saw it on tape. So the next time after I saw it on tape, I went up to him and told him, I said, Perry, look, if you want to work, we can work. I said, but if you want to fight, then just call it. We get in the ring and fight. I'm like, I ain't gonna set myself up for no work and you knock the shit out of me. He was like, no, Jack, I want the worst punch throwers in the world. I'm like, fuck that, you try to hit me in my face. Now you want to fight, motherfucker? Let's just go out in the back and fight and get this shit over with. You know what I mean? Then after that, he didn't want to work me no more. So when we had the team up, he would always go with Mustafa, and then I went with Cronus. I like Cronus because Cronus is retarded.
Okay. Now we'll talk about, I guess, if you're up for it, the incident in Revere, Massachusetts, and there's been a lot of crap talked about it. Nobody's really ever gotten your side of the story.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I was 10 years old, no, I'm just kidding. Eric, what you call him?
Kulas, I think was his name.
No, I didn't say that. He did.
No.
So for suing right, he said it.
It was me.
The mass transit guy, the fat white boy. He asked me. He said we got a match. Axel Rotten didn't show up, and Devon needed a partner. And Devon Dudley, the black guy, the white guy that's dressed in the black man suit. Devon, you know, the guy that wish he could be me, him. The one that comes out dressed like New Jack, him. The one with his fat buddy Bubba that uses my intro music, him. The one that was never over in East Devon until they started biting up everybody else shit, them. Okay, what was the question again? Oh, Eric Coulard. Eric came up after we told him he wanted him to work with Devon. He's like, okay, cool. This is my first professional match, you know, and my family's gonna be there, so can y'all make me look good? Now we had just gotten the straps. This is his first professional match. And he said, can y'all make me look good? He said, I'll get color. But I ain't never did it. Okay. He said, New Jack, can you put me through a table? No, he said, I'm sorry, can I put you through a table? Now he asked me, could he put me through a table? Okay. Then he said, I want to get color. And I just want to really just stay on top of you the whole match. And then y'all pin me 1, 2, 3, and y'all get out of the ring. And leave me in the ring, you know, celebrate. So once again, I looked around. So we put him up to it. And he came back and he reminded me, he said, hey man, can you gig me, cut me, because I've never done it. I said, sure. Made a razor blade. When it was time for him to get it, I cut that fucker from here to here. And his dad was outside the ring screaming, he's only 17, all the other shit. Well, I mean, come on. If he's 17 years old, he's a 545-pound, out-of-shape, fat-ass teenager. Why? And if he's knowing he's 17, he knew there wasn't no one to be in the ring. Why? But he told us he was 20. And as big as he was, he could have been a young, fat 20-year-old. You know what I mean? So we all believed he was 20. And he asked me to cut it, so I cut it. He didn't say that deep or that long, that long, or that long, that deep. So I cut it, to my satisfaction. And then 9 months later, they had me in court suing. Anyway, they tried to get me convicted of aggravated assault with a weapon, aggravated assault with intent to commit felony, mayhem, disorderly conduct, a bunch of shit. And went to trial on it. And Paulie, of course, had to pay for the attorney because if they'd have lost the case, then they would have sued ECW and they'd have owned ECW. So Paulie pretended like he was showing me and just like, New Jack, I have your back. I'm your friend. Fuck you. You never was, never have been, you fuck. And they showed up in court and they had the attorney and and the whole deal, and I got found not guilty. Free like OJ, acquitted and got away with it. So that was it. And then they tried to sue me civilly and they didn't get shit out of that either. So fuck you, Eric, and fuck you, Paulie, and fuck your fat mama and your fat daddy. You're a fucking bastard. You Jew bitch. Next.
Okay, and in regards to that incident, something that really rubbed me the wrong way were the sheet writers and the way they try to do it because they're not in the business. They don't understand how the business
like
works.
Like that fuck Dave Meltzer. That cocksucker that went out of California. Oh, he dogged me, man. He went in and he talked about New Jack has a track record. New Jack this, New Jack that, da la la la. No, we want to talk about Jerry Lawler molesting a little 14-year-old. We want to talk about Taz getting locked up for sexual assault in Pittsburgh. And we want to talk about all the other shit and the drug abuses and all the other shit. We want to talk about that. We'll talk about shit I've done and I publicly admit that I've done. Understand, I'm a nigga from the street. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. I would never separate my personal self along with my business. Sometimes it was inconvenient for me not to do it. Because motherfuckers knew I could fight for real and I would stab your ass in a minute for real. That was the difference. And them cocksuckers would come up, my head hurt. They come up and they start talking all this shit about me. And Melson, mainly Melson, he talking all this shit about New Jack this, New Jack that, and Paulie gets job in WWL, New Jack can never go because he's burnt bridges everywhere. When I ain't burnt bridges everywhere I went, what I did was told the truth. Did Cornette bounce check on me and Mustafa? Yes, he did. That was the truth. That wasn't burning bridges. Did Paulie scam the company out of millions of dollars and pretend like he was broke and put the shit in his house up on his mattress? Yes, he did. Did Paulie put on his suit that he owed his mama some money and his grandmama some money for using the station wagon and his daddy for attorney fees and all other shit? Yes, he did. Did Paulie bullshit everybody out of their Sony money? Yes, he did. Did he get them on their toys for San Francisco toys? Yes, he did. Did he tell the boys he was going to pay them for their pay-per-views and didn't pay them? Yes, the motherfucker did. Or no, he didn't. So no, I didn't burn bridges. I exposed these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You burn bridges when you just cut the fool all the time and fuck up and you lie and you cheat and you steal. I ain't do none of that. I told the truth about these motherfuckers. And I will stand on my word till I fucking die. I kiss nobody's ass. I suck nobody's dick. These motherfuckers in this business and got over the kissed ass, suck dick, and been butt fucked. I never will, never have. You know what I mean? So if that's burning bridges, then motherfucker, I done burn them. But fuck them because they got exposed. Go ahead. Okay, I'm back.
Early on, you had an incident with Brian Pillman.
He called me nigga. I tried to kill him. That's about as easy as I can say it. He came out there, them gangster niggas. I'm like, oh, gotta kill him, white boy. Next.
Okay. Were you involved at all in the early angle with the WWF that was hyping the first pay-per-view?
No. Paulie said that Vince McMahon picked everybody, and that he didn't want me because I was a risk and all this other bullshit. When me and Mustafa was right in the middle of a heavy angle with the Dudleys, and Paulie brought out Tommy Dreamer and Sandman that had absolutely nothing to do with the Dudleys. And I called Paulie from the Travel Lodge in Philadelphia and cussed his ass out on the phone. And he was like, it was because Vince McMahon was worried I might come in there. That's bullshit. That was Paulie's fucking move, you fat Jew cocksucker. So no, I went on it.
Okay. As the national growth began with ECW and they started getting a little bit bigger and a little bit more renowned, the pay-per-view came along, then it was video games.
I went on the first pay-per-view because Paulie was still mad about that boy in Boston. That was my punishment. So the night before, I was on a Terry Funk banquet, and Tommy Dream asked me to come out and talk about Terry Funk for 3 minutes, not cursing. And I turned that shit into 28 minutes, and I cursed every other fucking word. I had to get over it.
Was there any pressure felt in the company? Did people change as the company got bigger? Did friends turn backs on each other?
Man, ain't no friends in this business, man. Everybody played that old game. Everybody had flies flying around their face, kissing so much ass from Paulie, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, they changed, they was kissing up to him to make sure they got on TV all the time. I didn't give a fuck if I got on there or not. Because I knew people wanted to see me. And whether he tried to take away from me or not, I knew they wanted to see me. You know what I mean? That's why I made that song, me and Boosie Collins. Who'd y'all come to see? New Jack. Not Mustafa, not Paulie, not Taz, gay faggot ass. You little fire hydrant fuck. New Jack. Amen.
Okay,
I need my Xanax right now. I'm getting stressed. I'm having anxiety.
What led to the breakup of the Gangsters?
Mustafa did it. He went, man. We had a show. I'm looking at some designs on the ceiling. Mustafa, we had a show in Jersey. We had 3 shows that week, and he didn't show up. And he worked out in California the same week, but he said his son was sick. I won't say what was wrong with it because he's a little baby, so that ain't his fault. And then Terry Funk came back to the next show and said Mustafa worked the show with him out in California. And then that wasn't the bad part, but the bad part was Mustafa came out to the ring with these niggas and they called themselves the New Gangsters. Wrong. I created that job. That was my idea. I named the gangster. That was all my shit. And when he did that to me, that was a slap in the face. And I would refuse to let that shit go unattended with. So I dealt with it. And my way of dealing with it was eventually breaking up me and Mustafa. Because I told Mustafa a long time ago, I said, my mama can play your part. I can dress up a midget to be you. You know what I mean? Just get your check and shut the fuck up. And I was say shut the fuck up, but he wouldn't do it. And he started trying to outdo me. You can't outdo me. I outdo your ass in a wheelchair. You can't outdo me. And that's what he started trying to do. So.
Okay, what was the earliest balcony dive? Because that's become certainly your staple.
The first one was when we was in the arena in Philly. And I ran and tried to jump on D1. I almost missed him. And I started doing that because Paulie was trying to bury us every week. So I'm like, I got to keep us above water. You know what I mean? So that's when I started diving. I started diving so much he asked me not to dive. Then sometime when he really needed me to dive, he said, Jack, can you dive tonight? You know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, it was a benefit to the company. And then everything, next thing you know, then everybody else started doing it. But who'd he come from? Everybody talking about that little bump Cactus Jack took off the cage. That shit wasn't but 12 feet high. I have been recorded on record of jumping 36 feet. So try that, Cactus.
Okay, and one of the more famous angles in the ECW, while it was only a one-night thing that you were involved in later towards there, was the Limp Bizkit Steve Corino angle. How did that whole thing come about?
We had a show one night in Peoria, Illinois, and we was in the same building. We was in the other side of the building. They was in this other side. Well, the same building, like I said. And they came over to the locker room, and they wanted to meet the guys and this, that, and the other. Method Man came up to me and started talking to me, and he said he was a big fan. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm a big fan of yours. And they asked if they want to be a part of the show. So I'm like, fuck yeah. 20-something people. Yeah. White women. White girls. So we went over there and did it. They didn't pay us though. They gave us drugs. Okay, they gave me drugs. If I had a brain. Hey, you know, Jerry Lewis telethon, do any of them people ever walk? Do any of those kids ever get, like, healed and walk?
I don't think so.
I ain't never seen one.
I haven't seen one.
Jerry, I'm healed. For y'all that don't know what I'm looking at, there's a sign up on the wall that says Jerry Lewis Telethon. And I've been watching that show, well, I used to watch it for years, and I have yet to see one of them kids come back, and they ain't crippled no more. It's a work. It is a total work. And your hair is not black no more either. Fuck her. All right, go ahead.
Okay, how did you hook up with P-Funk legend Bootsy Collins for the music video and the song?
Make my funk the P-Funk. Man, I wanted to do a song for myself, right? Because Paulie was letting all them white boys do their own song and all this other old shit. And I got in touch with Bootsy, and I shot the idea to him, and he knew who I was. So we went down to the studio and got in the studio and did the song. And Paulie swore to God he was going to use it on TV, and he never did. See, but they used some shit by some, what's that white boy name, Pumpkin Smashers or Headbangers or, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, him.
Was the guy,
they used him, and the idea that they did with him came from me, what I want to do with Bootsy. Paulie's a racist motherfucker, man, but they never used it. Bootsy showed up 2 our shows, and Paulie said he was going to let him get on the show, and he didn't do it. They didn't do shit, so, you know what I mean? But, I mean, it's all right. You know, it's all right, you faggot.
Okay, and then shortly after that, you had your program with the Baldies, which is going to lead into something else. But what was it like working first the other Baldies before we get into the your favorite Baldy? You know, DeVito, Angel. How were those?
No, it was cool, man. I mean, they was young boys, and I got Angel in ECW, and it was cool working with them. And I know where this is going, so go ahead, you fuck.
Okay, and then of course there was that incident at the pay-per-view with Vic Grimes in Danbury, Connecticut.
Right.
That is still talked about to this day, and go ahead and get your thoughts on that.
By the time this tape releases, it'll probably be a part 2 coming up because I got to work Big Grimes in a couple of days, okay? But to briefly touch this subject a little bit, we did a show one night, match one night with the Baldies, and Vic decided he wanted to go off of a scaffold with me, And I asked him had he got up there and checked it out yet to see what it was safe. He said yes, it was, but he never got up there. And then when we went up there, the footing was real bad, and Big got scared to jump. And he was supposed to like do this little spill off the thing off the table, and Big didn't want to do it. He said it was too high. Well, when we did it, Big fell on top of me, and he did a flip as he came down. I had to really like pull him down, and I put him on top of me, and his back landed up against my head. My head smashed the floor, and I lost the sight of my right eye. And I broke my arm, and broke my leg, and cracked my sternum, and cracked my skull, and bruised my kidney. And the next time I saw Big, when I was able to stand up, I walked and punched him in the face. And in 4 days, we have a scalpel match in California. And I'll continue this when that match is over with. Thank you.
Okay. You guys did a pay-per-view, speaking of Los Angeles, in LA. It was Heatwave 2000.
Yep.
There was a little incident there regarding some of the XPW talent, and I think you at the time actually had a broke leg, if I'm correct, or you were on crutches at this point. What exactly happened there, just to set the record straight?
XPW had some guys sitting out on the front row, and Lizzie, which is Rob Black's girlfriend, wife, whatever, and they all had on XPW shirts. They had them inside out or some shit, and they stood up and pulled the shirts off. And you know what? Sometimes I believe that shit was a work. And Tommy Dreamer grabbed the mic, and he was like, y'all just committed wrestling suicide. And, okay, Dragon, I'll stay center. And, he said, y'all just committed wrestling suicide. And, shut up, Dragon. And, security came and got him and rushed him out of the building. And we got outside. It was an argument back and forth, back and forth. And even though I was on crutches, I politely limped over there and bust somebody in the face. And we all started fighting. And that was basically it. And then I went to XPW a year later.
Speaking of which, what were some of the early signs you were picking up on that ECW was going down?
Paulie wouldn't pay nobody. Shit. He started that bouncing check shit. He was talking about, he can't say shit about Jim Cornette. Paulie bounced him in that check. You thought you was a damn basketball tournament. That fucker bounced checks all over the place. He wouldn't pay us. He'd make up excuses. And, I mean, dude, I think the best one was when he went to Canada. And he said he was bringing the money back from Canada. And the people at the little checkpoint, what do you call them? The little checkpoint. At the board.
Customs.
Yeah. He said they confiscated the money because they thought it was illegal money. And he held the money for like weeks and we didn't get paid. He always made excuses about why we weren't getting our money. And then he wouldn't pay us on the pay-per-views, he wouldn't pay us on the bonuses, he wouldn't pay us on the action figures, the toys, and nothing. Sony games, nothing. And I knew then. And then he kept having all these little bullshit-ass meetings with us and everything about the company getting ready to change, and I knew then. So, I mean, when I quit before I got fired. And one night I showed up in New York and I quit. I couldn't take it. Because I was about to hurt him. Somebody going to get swole.
Okay. We'll do a little word association with some of the ECW talent. Let's get your feelings on some of them. Some of the ones you worked with a lot anyway. Spike Dudley.
Cool.
Okay.
You said word association.
Okay, there we go. Sabu.
Cool.
The Dudley Boys.
Gay boys, butt fuckers.
You already touched on those.
Butt fuckettes.
Sandman.
My dog.
Tommy Dreamer.
Cool.
Chris Hammer.
Man, that was my favorite white boy. The little country bastard. Chris Hammer right with me, man. I mean, I got him on XPW too. I always have to bring along my luggage. Need my luggage. He alright for a white boy.
Balls Mahoney.
If you're deaf, I'm sticking. I mean, if you're blind, there's a middle finger pointing the camera. Other than that,
Axel Rotten.
no, Axel was cool. That was my boy there. You know what that means? I don't have his nose for nothing. Why?
Okay, and like you said, your ECW experience then came to an end Your overall experience in ECW, a positive, would you say? Negative? Your opinion?
I mean, it got me. I made money. I have a lot of bad memories about ECW. I have a lot of good ones too, but I have a lot of bad ones too. And it really wasn't about the company, but it was about the motherfucker that owned the company, the motherfucker that stole the company from Todd Gordon, Paul Heyman. And I got a lot of bad feelings for him. I don't like him, you know. And he did a lot of fucked up shit, and he knows it. And one day it's gonna come back and haunt him. And I hope I'm there to see it.
Okay. One more person I forgot to ask you about, Terry Funk.
Terry Funk, I love Terry Funk, man. Even though he probably mad about that damn interview I did at the bank. But Terry Funk, I love Terry Funk. I don't like love him like you ain't love him, but you know, like we boys. Nasty.
And what about Shane Douglas?
Oh, Shane cool, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna say I never had one little problem, but it ain't no big deal. No, me and Shane, we cool, we tight.
Okay.
We're brothers.
You also did some Hollywood work. You did the movie Beyond the Mat, which got a lot of press.
Yeah.
How did you run into that? How did you meet Barry Blaustein, the director?
He came to the show when he was talking about filming the movie, and he wanted to pick some guys that had personality. And of course, he had to come to New Jack. New Jack got the personality for your ass. And he came up and started talking to me, and I want a part. And they goes, all one of his favorite guys, one of his favorite brothers. And I got the part and did it. But it really wasn't a part. I was just being me, and they just put it on camera. That's all.
Okay. Later, Jake Roberts had a lot of complaints saying he didn't get paid for the movie and that they misrepresented him and a lot of other things. I mean, did you feel that that was the same case with you, or do you think he was just blowing smoke?
Dude, I don't know what Jake got, but I got paid for it. I ain't gonna do what Jake got. New Jack left happy. I was able to stay in a $22 a night hooker hotel for a week. There was a damn burger joint across the street, and I got paid for it. And I ain't got no complaints about the movie. So if Jake was upset about it, then that's Jake's problem. I got mine.
Okay. What was it like doing the early edition show on CBS?
I got paid for that. Only problem was I couldn't see, though, because I had just gotten hurt over that injury in Connecticut, and they knew I couldn't see. So it was at one point me and Tommy Dream did a fight scene. I actually punched Tommy in the nose for real. I didn't mean to do it, but I did. But no, that was cool. I got paid for that too. And then I stole the bathrooms out the hotel and the towels. I tried to get the TV in my bag, but it wouldn't fit.
Okay. Have you explored? Have you explored any more options in Hollywood, or are you looking to go back out there and do some more film? Or
yeah, I'm working on some stuff. I can't say it right now though, cause I might have a mask on with my dingling hanging out the 100 playing. No, I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna do some stuff, man. But I can't really say it right now, cause you might blow my chance of dragging out to come and kill your dog.
Okay.
I will do it.
Okay. And then the next promotion you worked for that was rather high profile was XPW. You left there, and they were getting hot in California, backed by the porno industry and the Extreme Associates. What is it like? And being one of the most experienced guys there, do you control a lot of what you do?
Yeah, and I love it, cause I get to get all the porno movies I want for free, and I got 1 million of them in my house, and I ain't gonna never leave XPW. I take that back. You know, I'll quit one day. You know I am. I wake up in the morning just quit for no reason. But, no, I love working at SPW, man. Rob Black's retarded and Kevin Kleinrock, you little bastard. No, they're my boys, man. They take care of me. At least I can say that. They in the porno industry, but they don't try to fuck nobody. Paul Heyman, you Jew bastard.
Is there a misconception about the porn stars that work there? I mean, because you know...
There are no such thing as porn stars. They are all paid whores. They are not they ain't no star to me. They paid whores. They hookers. On camera. Now, what was your question again?
It's just, is there a misconception? Because, you know, everybody thinks that a porn star's there. Of course, the fantasy is they're going to be in the locker room giving everybody blowjobs and stuff. I mean, yeah,
man.
Right.
If you seen some of them tapes, I don't think you want to put them out when you win. Because I know I wouldn't. It was a couple of girls I didn't know that actually did it. And I brought the tape home and I seen them on the tape. And I see them girls in the locker room all the time. And I'm like, wait a minute, Joe, what you call it? I didn't know they were doing that. And, man, they was handling this girl, man. They had this girl upside down and spinning her around. They had her legs on the fucking chandelier and the ceiling fan go around in circles. And they were boning that girl in every hole she had in her body. But I had to say that. But no, they don't be in the locker room blowing everybody and all that other shit. But I wouldn't let none of them put their mouth on me because I done seen them. They nasty. That's nasty, baby.
Okay, and just your general thoughts on Rob Black are good, right?
Yeah, Rob Black cool as hell, man. He take care of me the day he stop taking care of me the day I leave. Know what I mean?
Okay. And the other promotion you worked for a little bit with some television exposure, of course, is NWA Wildside. And how did you get back in touch with Bill Barons after meeting him first in Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Bill Barron. Who was that? Bill Barron, Bill. Oh, Bill Barron. Oh, okay. I had to think about it for a minute. No, that ain't him. Bill. The guy that... Oh, yeah, I know Bill. I'm just for real. Nah, man. I had called Bill. Billy called me. Somebody called somebody. And I forgot how we really got back in touch. But we did. And I come up sometime and do some shows with him. You know. And he paid me with food stamps. But I mean, it's alright. Because he don't pay the other guys shit. And you know, I mean, me and Bill, we kind of got a friendship, but it's a business relationship also. But you know, we like each other. You know what I mean? I go up there and work for Bill, and you know, help him out, and you know, that's it. That's all. You know, I ain't had no problem other than that night that Rusty, some guy, Rusty, what's his name?
Rusty Riddle.
He called me his nig. Why? Why? And then he got in the ring and started trying to shoot over me, man. And then he would put my shit over. So I'm like, all right, we got in the back. I knocked that motherfucker down. Hit him dead in the face, knocked his ass. I ain't knock him out, but he was close. And my leg was fucked up, and I had one arm I could use, and I beat the shit out of him. And he said, well, I'm still standing. Well, I guess you would be standing out to get him off the ground, fuck boy. But I tore that ass up, and he learned. He ain't been back since. Yeah, I ain't know about it.
No, he hasn't, actually. Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
No, I wasn't a wrestling fan growing up. Dragon taking another 800,
Yellow.
900 call.
I'm doing a shoot with Jack. Let me
On the
get
corner entry. Who is that?
Demetrius.
What you want? Let me see the phone.
He wants to talk to you.
What you want? I'm doing my promo right now, and now you are on it. This is Homicide, and he decided to call in the middle of my fucking shoot promo. And I don't know why the fuck he want to do this shit, knowing I was up here doing this. And this is on camera, too. All right? This shit, I ain't going to tell you his real name. I ain't going to do that. His name, I ain't going to tell you his name to me, so that ain't it. But the nigga named Homicide, and he with that other guy, the Rain Man. You saw that movie? With him. That's his partner. And this nigga calling me doing my time. And me and Homicide ain't got one thing in common. White women. White women, bring on them white girls. Homicide, I gotta let you go, big dog. Bye, nigga. All right, he gone. No white girls.
Okay. What was the fucking question?
Yeah.
Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, a little bit. I would go to the Coliseum sometime when I was in North Carolina. I see it every now and then, like a gang of us would go, but not like these motherfuckers. I didn't go that much.
Right. And I had heard that you were a fan of Dusty Rhodes, actually, at one point, weren't you?
I was a fan of Dusty Rhodes, man, when I was little. And I was retarded. I ain't know no better. I used to take this rock and put it in my elbow pad and elbow people and tear my elbow up. That's probably why I got a problem with my elbow today with that stupid shit. I ain't know that shit wasn't real. I put that thing on. And, but then I just heard some shit about Dusty Rhodes. I ain't like, man. Somebody said Dusty Rhodes went down to some federation a long time ago. They were talking about, don't worry about it. It's just the camera. Don't worry about it, Dragon. It's a shoot. And, he said something about they wanted some black guys to be on TV and Dusty Rhodes, I'd be your black guy. They didn't want no niggas. I don't know how true it is, but if it is, that's fucked up, big baby. All right, go ahead.
You actually worked for Dusty a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah, but he couldn't afford me.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't last long. New Jack is what they call expensive.
Okay, let's get your thoughts on some of the current wrestling world going on today. What about
the hate of my baby Pokey? I got a name tattooed on my neck. See, Pokey. That ain't me poking nobody, but that's my baby there. That's my boy. Ooh, if y'all see it, goddamn! I'm sorry, go back. I had a flashback.
Quite all right. Quite all right.
Poke your time, poke your time. All right, go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the demise of WCW, or did you even care?
I didn't give a fuck. I ain't give a fuck about ECW either demising. What demise mean? Oh, go ahead. Dismissed.
And your thoughts on the WWF right now, and have you been in touch with any of your former coworkers that all got picked up?
I had a few of them call me, but I ain't got no thoughts on it. And the locker room parties in I don't want to be in. So.
Okay. Do you think another wrestling company will maybe come up to rise to compete with Vince anytime soon, or do you think it's a lost cause?
I don't know, man. It maybe not. I don't give a shit. I don't know. I own a house and a car. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. And I've just heard a few things, and this is a good time to set the record straight on this, coming from you. I had heard somewhere that you and Abdullah the Butcher had heat for some reason.
Abdullah told somebody one time I was trying to steal his gimmick. First of all, Abdullah is 97 years old. Abdullah ain't never jumped off in a day in his life. Abdullah has not done the things that I've done other than he drops a 400-pound elbow and he uses a fork, which is not conventionally used. And I started using a fork sometime doing a weapons match, not thinking about Abdullah. So he told him out again, I was trying to steal his gimmick. And then he got mad at me, and he took my picture down out of his restaurant off the wall. Give a fuck about no Abdullah the Butcher, man. Come on, man. I want to work him. It'll be a work. No, really, it will. Stop laughing, Dragon. It will be a work. I really want to work. I do it just once.
Okay.
Santa Claus is a black man. Huh?
Do you have a favorite match of your whole career that sticks out as one you just really thought was?
Chad Austin and the Mass Transit. I got 2. It's gonna be 3 after this week, but it's 2 right now.
Did you have a favorite opponent you enjoyed actually working with?
Mass Transit.
Do you see anybody young in the business today that may could be the next New Jack, or anybody you would put distinction on?
No. Stop copying my shit. The Dudleys have done enough damage to my shit. And Homicide, you stop doing my shit too, little fucker. Play with you and fucking big head Rain Man.
What's your response when people ask you if wrestling's fake? And I've seen this on a personal account a couple of times, but I want to get this on the record here.
I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, everybody don't believe in Santa Claus, okay? Everybody don't believe in wrestling. Some people think it's fake. And I mean, it ain't no secret no more. Some of this shit is staged. Some of it is free rehearsed. Do we get hurt? Yes, we get hurt, okay? Is what I do fake? No, it's not fake. And if you really think it is, all I can say is, you got your beliefs, but I'll make a different belief out of you if you get in the ring with me. Honestly, I will beat you. For real. So you can have your opinion on it. And I usually get mad about that shit. I don't get mad about it no more, because it don't even matter to me. If you think it's fake, then fuck it, it's fake. But if you get in the ring with me, I'll prove you wrong. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question I've got for you.
Hey, this tape is not ending. What's happening is I gotta go pay child support, and Dragon know I gotta leave in 20 minutes. So we gonna wrap it up for now. But we coming back with another part. I have on different clothes, and this time we gonna have somebody else behind the camera, and we gonna make Dragon sit beside me, and he gonna ask me questions, and I'm gonna have an egg in his hand, and every time he asks me something stupid, I'm gonna whack him upside his damn head. So y'all know who Dragon is, all right? What's the last question?
The last question
for this segment.
For today, the last question is, what is the biggest misconception about New Jack?
What does that mean?
What do people think about you that's not really true?
A lot of people think that I'm my character. In a lot of ways I am. But I don't live the New Jack thing 24/7. I use when it's convenient. You know what I mean? I am like one of the most down-to-earth people that you want to know in your life. But if you fuck with me, I will hurt you. Okay? And anybody that knows me will tell you I have never started a fight in wrestling. A real fight in the locker room. But I will participate in one if you fuck with me. Okay? I don't go out starting trouble. I don't go out looking for trouble. But if you bother me, then I'm going to end it. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, I'm not. New Jack is not me, per se. But it's my character. But I will bring him alive if you rub me the wrong way. That's the best way I can answer that.
Okay.
And on that note, boys and girls, it's been a beautiful day in my neighborhood, and I'll see you on the next one.